The next question: what would be your comment on the situation with the initiation of Trump impeachment procedure?
There are many interesting things here to comment on. There are a lot of discussions about Biden, whether he stole money or not, and so on. But the main and principal issue for an American voter is not how American officials robbed some barefoot locals in a third world country, but what damage was done to American statehood. The fact is that all the top echelon of the Democratic Party of the USA and some Republicans, one way or another, got stuck in Ukraine. Information emerges that the son of Pelosi did business in Ukraine. Romney has a connection with Ukraine, and others have Ukrainian ties. All of them do. And Trump, slowly but surely, with an understanding of all underlying laws of this political show, is making it apparent for everyone. The damage to American statehood done by Biden and company, Clinton and others, is colossal. Biden himself publicly bragged about conditioning American financial aid upon firing the Prosecutor General of Ukraine. Thus, he, as a government official, put his personal interests in front of the state policies of the United States and announced his personal demands in pursuit of his personal interests. American financial aid was approved while the Ukrainian prosecutor was in office, which means American state had no problems with Ukrainian statehood and financial aid was approved. But Biden said, if prosecutor is not fired, you're not getting the money, while this prosecutor was prosecuting his son. That means Biden put at risk conducting the US state policies based on his private, selfish priorities. In other words, Biden committed a state crime, and that is obvious to all voters. But here's the next question that comes up. So Biden, based on his selfish goals, manipulates Ukraine by promising the US financial aid. Question: did the decision on the appropriation of financial aid for Ukraine damage the United States? Because in this particular case, Biden could be motivated by exclusively private reasons, his personal monetary interests, and not by the United States' interests for the benefit of all US taxpayers. First, Biden made sure that this financial aid was appropriated, and then he successfully managed to achieve his selfish personal goal by threatening to withhold that financial aid. This is very serious. And Trump is step by step making all of them come out. He uses himself as a bait. He provoked them into impeachment, which is a serious, strong maneuver in governance. And Trump is successful so far. One must be very careful in his situation, but everything is working out for him. In the end, everybody will be dragged into this sinkhole, and Trump will show they use their positions in government for personal gains and damage the interests of the United States in foreign policy. The United States sustains at the expense of its foreign policy. The US robs other countries. Imagine someone states, I, solo, will rob this Ukraine, not the US as a state, but all of you should be good boys and support our state. This is a massive crime of Biden and his son. This is a massive crime of Pelosi's son, and they understand it. That is why Pelosi isn't officially starting the impeachment procedure. She needs to slow it down because there are fools who come and testify, as ex-ambassador in Ukraine Marie Yovanovitch. They simply identify themselves. She should not appear at this hearing because it is not a state investigation. It is one party's investigation. It is a corrupt investigation. Corrupt officials are trying to avoid responsibility for their actions, and one who appears and testifies, he admits that he is corrupted too and was part of those corrupt schemes. How does Trump benefit from it? I said it many times. There is no difference between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party in the USA. Russian political analysts like to say, here's the Democratic Party and here's the Republican Party. The real divide is between the US country elite and the global elite. There is a mismatch between the US country elite and the global elite in regard to the goals of the United States functioning and its future. The US country elites think they can survive as a dominating power worldwide because they don't understand global politics, conceptual power and consequences of the implementation of global policies worldwide. In reality, current global policies of the US country elites will lead to full-scale technological catastrophe on the planet Earth, and the United States will be the first to fall. I repeat, the Mad Max movie scenario will be materialized at once. Another scenario is from the 1980s movie Cyborg. Starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. The global elite had calculated the possible functioning of the technological environment within the US territory already at that time. What is the bottom line? Trump faces a united front of the US country elite, embedded in both the Democratic and the Republican parties. Trump must survive and stay as a presidential candidate to conduct his effective policies. This impeachment for Trump is godsend. Trump will be able to deal with people within the Republican Party using this impeachment. The investigation is initiated by Democrats. It is an unofficial investigation. Accordingly, Republicans cannot be part of it. If any Republican will take part in it, he admits that he is corrupt. Checkmate. Trump solves all tasks thanks to this impeachment. It is a complex, powerful maneuver. And quote-unquote Trump, or to be more precise, the global elite backing him, is managing it so far without mistakes. But a lot depends on Trump personally too.